Desco VRY. The emergency beacon screamed through the void for 70. 2 hours before anyone answered. Captain Alina Voss stood on the bridge of the cargo hauler. Tempest's edge, watching the distress signal pulse on her scanner, like a dying heartbeat. Her ship was 3 days out from the nearest colony, carrying nothing more valuable than mining equipment and frozen rations. But the signal came from deep space, far beyond any mapped trade route. Should we ignore it? Her co-pilot asked. His name was Chen, a veteran hauler with gray streaking his temples. Could be pirates. Could be worse. Elena studied the coordinates. The signal originated from a sector marked as restricted by the Galactic Concordat, the alliance of 5 alien species that govern known space. Humans had been part of the Concordat for only 30 years, ever since first contact. They were the youngest species, the weakest military, the least respected voice at the council table. We answer it, Elena said. That's the law. Chen muttered something under his breath, but adjusted their course. It took 6 hours to reach the source. What they found made Alina's blood turn cold. A Concordat battlecruiser hung motionless in the darkness, its hull torn open like a gutted fish. The ship was massive, easily 10 times the size of the Tempest's Edge. It belonged to the Vryn Dominion, one of the founding members of the Concordat. The Vryn were reptilian, calculating, and utterly ruthless in battle. Their ships were supposed to be invincible. This one was dying. Life signs. Alina asked. Chen checked his console. Faint. Maybe a dozen survivors in the aft section. But Captain, look at the damage. That's not weapons fire. That's something else. He was right. The hull wasn't blasted or burned. It was shredded, as if something with claws had ripped through the armored plating. Massive gouges ran the length of the ship, exposing corridors and chambers to the vacuum of space. Elena activated the comms. This is cargo vessel Tempest's Edge, responding to your distress call. We're preparing to dock and render assistance. Silence. Then a voice crackled through the static. It was rag-broken. Human ship. Do not approach. Repeat. Do not approach. They are still here. Who's still there? Elena demanded. What attacked you? The voice dissolved into wet coughing. When it returned, it was barely a whisper. The Maw. They came from the edge. We tried to run. Concordat Command ordered us to hold position. We obeyed. Now we are meat. The transmission cut out. Elena felt ice crawl down her spine. The Maw. She had heard rumors. Whispers in station bars and cargo depots. Stories of ships vanishing near the galactic rim, of entire colonies going silent. The Concordat denied it all. Claimed it was pirate propaganda. But this was a Vryn battlecruiser. Pirates didn't do this, Captain. I'm reading movement, Chen said, his voice tight. Inside the ship. Multiple contacts. Big ones. On the scanner, shapes moved through the wreckage. They were massive. Each one the size of a cargo container. They crawled along the hull, tearing through bulkheads, dragging something behind them. Bodies. Elena's hand hovered over the emergency jump controls. One command, and the Tempest's Edge would leap into faster. Then light travel. Leaving this nightmare behind. But then she saw it. A small pod, barely visible against the black hull of the battlecruiser. It was a lifeboat. Standard Concordat issue. and it was launching, pushing away from the dying ship with a weak thruster burn. "Someone's escaping," she said. Chen didn't look up. "Not our problem. Captain, we need to jump. Now." Elena watched the pod drift. Inside was someone who had survived whatever horror had butchered a Concordat warship. Someone who might have answers. She made her decision. "Bring us alongside that pod. Prepare the airlock." "You're insane," Chen hissed. "Probably," Elena agreed. "But we're still doing it." The Tempest's edge maneuvered carefully, matching velocity with the lifeboat. Behind them, the shapes on the battlecruiser stopped moving. Elena felt them watching, somehow even across the void. The lifeboat docked with a hollow clang. Elena descended to the airlock, her hand resting on the plasma pistol at her hip. The inner door hissed open. A Vrin officer stumbled out, his green scales slick with blood. One of his 4 arms hung useless at his side. His eyes, golden and vertical slitted, locked onto Elena with desperate intensity. "Human," he gasped. "You should not have come. You should have run. What happened out there?" Elena demanded. "What is the maw?" The Vrin collapsed against the wall, leaving a smear of dark blood. The Concordat knew. For cycles, we knew. The maw is an extinction fleet. They devour worlds, consume entire species. They came from beyond the rim 5 cycles ago. We discovered them, and we made a choice. Elena felt dread coil in her stomach. "What choice?" The Vrin's laugh was bitter broken. "We fed them. We gave them targets. Uninhabited systems at first, then fringe colonies. Unaligned species. Anything to keep them away from Concordat core worlds. You sacrificed innocent people," Elena said, her voice hollow. "Yes." The Vrin met her gaze without shame. And it worked. For cycles it worked. But the maw grows hungry. They demand more. And the Concordat Council has chosen their next offering. Elena's blood turned to ice. "Ooh." The Vrin's eyes held something that might have been pity. "Humanity. Your entire species. 53 colony worlds. Earth itself. The Concordat voted 3 days ago. Your government has not been informed. They will claim it was a tragic invasion, an unavoidable catastrophe. But the truth is simpler." He coughed, spattering blood on the deck. "You were always expendable." Bedrariel. Elena's world tilted. The words hung in the air like poison. 53 colonies. Earth. Billions of human lives, traded away like cargo to keep alien worlds safe. "You're lying," she said, but her voice had no strength. The Vrin officer slid down the wall, leaving a dark smear. "I wish I were." The vote was unanimous. 5 species agreed. Humanity dies so the Concordat survives. Chen appeared in the doorway behind Elena, his face pale. He had heard everything. "When?" he asked quietly. "The maw fleet moves in 7 days," the Vrin said. "They will strike your outer colonies first. Harvest them. Then spiral inward toward Earth. By the time your military realizes what is happening, half your species will be gone." Elena felt rage burning through the shock. "Why tell us? Why warn us at all?" The Vrin's golden eyes flickered. "Because I have a daughter. She is 15 cycles old. She believes the Concordat stands for honor, for unity. I cannot face her knowing what I helped hide. I transmitted the truth before my ship was attacked. I sent everything to human space. Locations. Fleet movements. Concordat communication codes. He coughed again, weaker this time. My commanders discovered what I did. They ordered my ship destroyed. The maw was convenient. But I escaped. You betrayed your own people. Chen said. No. The Vrin's voice was fading. I betrayed monsters wearing my people's faces. There is a difference. Alina crouched beside him. How do we stop them? The maw. How do we fight them? The Vrin's laugh was wet and rattling. You cannot. No species has ever survived the maw. They are ancient. Infinite. They have consumed 1,000 civilizations. The Concordat believed they could control them, aim them like a weapon. But the maw cannot be controlled. They will devour us all eventually. Feeding them humanity only buys time. Then what do we do? Alena demanded. The Vrin reached into his uniform with his remaining good arm and pulled out a data chip, slick with his blood. This contains everything. Concordat betrayal. Maw tactics. Weaknesses we discovered before we stopped looking. It is not much, but it is all I have. Alena took the chip. It was warm. One more thing, the Vrin whispered. His eyes were dimming. The Concordat will deny everything. They will call me a traitor, a liar. They will offer your species protection, promise reinforcements. Do not believe them. The moment you trust the Concordat, you are already dead. His breathing stopped. His golden eyes stared at nothing. Alena closed them gently. She stood, the data chip clenched in her fist. Chen, get us to the nearest human outpost. Maximum speed. Already plotting the jump, Chen said. His voice was cold, flat. Alena, if this is real, if they really did this, then we go to war. Alena finished. Not with the maw, with the entire Concordat. Chen nodded slowly. Good. The Tempest's edge jumped to faster. Then light travel, leaving the butchered battlecruiser behind. Behind them, shapes moved in the darkness, feeding. 3 days later, Alena stood before the emergency. Defense Council on Titan Station, humanity's largest military installation. Around the table sat generals, admirals, and politicians, their faces carved from stone, as they watched the Vrin's data files play on the central hologram. Concordat communications. Council votes. Maw fleet movements. Sacrifice protocols. Everything. Admiral Marcus Kane, commander of Earth's defense fleet, was the first to speak. His voice was dangerously quiet. This is verified. Triple check it, Alena said. Every encryption key matches Concordat military standards. The Vrin officer's identity is confirmed. He was a decorated commander. No history of treachery until 3 days ago, when he transmitted this data, and was marked for execution. They voted to exterminate us, Kane said. He wasn't asking. He was processing. A counselor leaned forward, her face ashen. We have treaties with the Concordat. Trade agreements. Military cooperation. How could they? We were always expendable. Alena interrupted. The Vrin told me before he died. Humanity joined the Concordat 30 years ago. We're the weakest link. The newest members. The most convenient sacrifice. Kane's jaw tightened. What's our timeline? The Maw fleet enters human space in 4 days, Alena said. They'll hit the outer colonies first. New Hebron. Arcadia. Jericho Station. Estimated casualties in the first wave, 200 million. Silence crashed down like a hammer, and the Concordat. Another admiral asked, "What's their official position?" Alena pulled up another file. This morning, the Concordat High Council sent a message to Earth. They're offering military assistance against an unknown threat approaching our space. They promise fleet support, supply lines, and strategic coordination. Please, Kane said. Every word. Elena agreed. The moment we accept Concordat help, they'll control our defenses. They'll position our fleets exactly where the Maw can slaughter them most efficiently. Then they'll express deep regret at the tragic loss of humanity and absorb our territory into Concordat space. Kane stood. The room fell silent. He was a legend, a man who had commanded humanity's first deep space carrier group, who had negotiated humanity's entry into the Concordat. He looked older now, his face lined with betrayal. Send a message to every human colony, outpost, and ship, he said. Code Black. Total recall. Every military vessel returns to Sol system immediately. Every civilian ship capable of carrying weapons reports for retrofit. Every colony activates emergency defense protocols. Sir, if we recall our fleets, we'll be defenseless in the outer territories. A general protested. We're already defenseless, Kane said coldly. The outer colonies can't be held. Not against the Maw, not without support. But Earth can. We concentrate everything here. Every ship, every soldier, every weapon we have. We turn Sol system into a fortress. And the Concordat? The counselor asked. Kane's smile was sharp and empty. Send them our gratitude for their generous offer. Tell them we eagerly await their reinforcements. He paused. And then activate Operation Blackout. Cut every communication line to Concordat space. Jam every frequency. I want total information silence. The Concordat thinks we're blind and helpless. Let them keep thinking it. What about the colonists? Elena asked quietly. The people in the outer worlds. We can't evacuate them all in 4 days. Kane met her eyes. His expression was carved from stone. No, we can't. But we can give them a choice. Stay and fight. Or run deeper into human space and hope they survive long enough for us to come back for them. Elena felt sick. Millions of people. Abandoned. Just like the Concordat had abandoned them. There's one more thing, she said. The VRIN data includes tactical information on the Maw. Weaknesses. Combat patterns. It's not much, but it's more than anyone else has ever survived to record. Kane nodded. Get it to Fleet Intelligence. I want every captain, every pilot, every gunner studying those files. If we're going to die, we'll make the Maw pay for every human life in blood. The council dispersed. Kane stopped Elena as she turned to leave. You could have run, he said quietly. When you saw that battle cruiser, you could have jumped away and no one would have blamed you. Elena looked at him. I'm human, Admiral. Running isn't what we do. Kane's smile was grim. No, it isn't. He extended his hand. Welcome to the war, Captain Voss. Elena shook it. Outside the window, Earth turned in the darkness. Beautiful and fragile. Somewhere beyond the stars, the Maw was coming. And humanity, alone and betrayed, prepared to face extinction. But this time, they would face it on their own terms. The Rekonayangi. The Maw arrived on schedule. 4 days after the Emergency Defense Council meeting, the outer colony of New Hebron went silent. No distress call. No evacuation alert. Just silence where 40,000 human voices had been. 6 hours later, long, range sensors detected the fleet. Elena watched the tactical display on the bridge of the retrofitted destroyer Defiant, her cargo hauler days behind her. Admiral Kane had commissioned every civilian captain with military experience. Now she commanded a warship, bristling with weapons torn from decommissioned stations and experimental prototypes that had never been tested in combat. Humanity had no time for testing anymore. Contact count, she asked. Her tactical officer, a young lieutenant named Raj, stared at his console. His face was pale. 216 capital ships. Estimated smaller craft in the thousands. They're not using any formation we recognize. They're just spreading out like a swarm. Elena studied the display. The Vrin data had been accurate. The Ma ships were organic, grown rather than built. They looked like massive insects, all chitin armor and segmented bodies. They moved through space like they were swimming, rippling and twisting in ways that violated physics. Fleet status. All human vessels in position. Raj reported. 312 combat capable ships. Orbital defense platforms active. Planetary shields at maximum. 300 ships against 200 of the Ma. The numbers looked almost even. But Elena had read the Vrin reports. A single Ma capital ship had destroyed an entire Concordat battle group. 300 human ships would buy time. Nothing more. Admiral Kane's voice crackled over the fleet channel. Al ships, this is Kane. You know what's coming. You know what they did to us. The Concordat thought we'd beg for mercy. They thought we'd die quietly. He paused. They were wrong. Today we show the galaxy what happens when you betray humanity. Today we teach the Ma that we are not prey. We are the species that climbed out of caves and conquered our own world. We are the species that split the atom and walked on our moon. We are humanity, and we do not forgive. Elena felt the words settle into her bones. Al ships. Kane continued. Engage at will. Make them bleed. The human fleet surged forward. The Ma met them like a living wave. The first volleys tore through space. Human railguns and plasma cannons hammered into organic armor. Ma bio. Weapons spat streams of acid and living projectiles that latched onto hulls and burrowed inside. The Defiant shuddered as a Ma frigate raked its claws across their port side. Alarm screamed. Atmosphere vented from 3 decks. Return fire. Elena shouted. Target the joints where the limbs connect. That's where the armor is weakest. The Vrin data. The only advantage they had. The Defiant's guns tracked and fired. Tungsten rounds punched through the joint, connecting a massive claw to the Ma ship's body. The limb spun away, trailing black ichor. The creature screamed, a sound that resonated through the hull even in vacuum. It worked. Raj shouted. All ships, target the limb joints. Elena transmitted. Concentrated fire. Don't waste shots on the main body. The human fleet adapted. Captains who had been hauling cargo last week now coordinated firing solutions with the precision of veterans. They learned. They adjusted. They died. The cruiser Valiant exploded as a Ma capital ship tore it in half. The frigate Morning Star rammed a wounded Ma vessel, detonating its reactor and taking both ships into oblivion. The destroyer Hammer held position over Earth's orbital platforms, guns blazing until a swarm of smaller Ma creatures overwhelmed it and fed. But for every human ship that died, they took Maw vessels with them. The tactical display shifted. The Maw advance slowed. They had expected easy prey. They were facing wolves. "Captain, I'm reading something," Raj said suddenly. Behind the Maw fleet. "New contacts, Concordat signatures." Elena's blood ran cold. "How many?" 50 ships. Vryn Dominion. Calith Empire. Takar Federation. They're holding position at the edge of the system. Watching. The Concordat was watching humanity die. "Ma'am, we're being hailed," the communications officer said. "It's the Concordat flagship." "Put it through." A Vryn admiral appeared on the screen. Her scales gleaming, her forearms folded. Elena recognized her from intelligence briefings. "Admiral Zethra, commander of the Concordat Expeditionary Fleet." "Human commander," Zethra said smoothly. "The Concordat Council is deeply concerned by the invasion of your space. We have brought reinforcements as promised. Stand down and allow us to coordinate your defense." Elena stared at her. Around them, human ships were burning. The woman's daughter was somewhere on Earth, maybe looking up at the battle in the sky. "We don't need your help," Elena said quietly. Zethra's eyes narrowed. "You cannot win. The Maw will consume you. Accept our assistance or die." "We know," Elena said. "We know about the vote. We know you fed the Maw for years. We know you sacrificed us to save yourselves." Zethra's expression didn't change. "I have no idea what you're talking about. One of your officers told us everything before he died." Elena continued. "He gave us proof. And when this is over, when we've bled the Maw white, we're coming for you. Every species in the Concordat. We will hunt you across the galaxy. We will make you regret the day you decided humanity was expendable." For the first time, uncertainty flickered in Zethra's eyes. Elena cut the transmission. "Ma'am, the Concordat fleet is breaking formation," Raj said. "They're withdrawing to jump distance. Running." The Concordat had come to watch humanity's execution, and they were running. Because they saw what was happening. The Maw were losing. Not easily. Not cleanly. But the organic fleet was breaking apart under coordinated human fire. The creatures were adaptable, but humans were more adaptable. Every tactic the Maw used, humanity countered. Every new weapon they deployed, humans found a weakness. Because that's what humans did. They learned. They evolved. They refused to die. "Captain, the Maw flagship is turning," Raj reported. "It's heading for Earth." Elena saw it on the display. A massive creature. Easily 3 times the size of any other Maw ship. It was wounded, trailing debris and fluids, but it was still moving. Still dangerous. And it was accelerating directly toward the planet. "All remaining ships, intercept that flagship," Elena ordered. "We do not let it reach Earth." The Defiant dove, engines screaming. Around them, every functional human vessel converged on the Maw flagship. They didn't have enough ships left. Didn't have enough firepower. But they had something else. "Raj, how many nuclear warheads do we have left?" 12, ma'am. But they're not armed. They were supposed to be delivered to the outer colonies for mining operations. Elena smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. "Arm them. All of them. Set them for remote detonation." "Ma'am? We're going to deliver them personally." Understanding dawned in Raj's eyes. "That's a suicide run." "I know." Elena said. She opened a fleet-wide channel. All ships, this is Voss. We're going to ram the flagship. Load everything you have. Follow us in. It's been an honor. Responses crackled back. One after another. Captains who had been haulers and miners and explorers. Now they were warriors, and they said yes. The Defiant accelerated to maximum speed. Behind them, 18 more ships followed. The Maw flagship saw them coming. Tried to turn. Too slow, Elena armed the warheads. For New Hebron, she whispered. For humanity. For everyone the Concordat left to die. The Defiant struck the flagship at 40% of light speed. The nuclear warheads detonated simultaneously. For a moment, a new sun blazed over Earth. When the light faded, the Maw flagship was gone. Vaporized. The ships that had followed Elena were gone too. But Earth was safe. The remaining Maw vessels, leaderless and shattered, fled into deep space. Humanity's battered fleet didn't pursue. They had nothing left to pursue with. Admiral Kane broadcast from the orbital command station. His voice was hoarse, exhausted, but unbroken. All ships. Stand down. We won. 200 human vessels had entered the battle. 43 limped back to dock, but they had won. Earth survived. 1 month later, a single cargo vessel appeared at the edge of Concordat space. It was unmanned, guided by automated systems. Inside was a message broadcast on every Concordat frequency. Admiral Kane's face appeared on screens across 5 alien homeworlds. This is humanity. You tried to kill us. You failed. We know what you are. We know what you did, and we are coming. Not today. Not tomorrow. But we are coming. We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will teach the galaxy what it means to betray humanity. The message repeated on loop. And across Concordat space. 5 alien species looked at their tactical displays and realized they had made a terrible mistake. They had awakened something that should have stayed sleeping. They had given humanity a reason to become what they had always feared. A species with nothing left to lose and everything to avenge. The war had just begun.